We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, call this meeting to order.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I will second.
I'll second that.
There you go. That's Brad, right?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I look for a motion to sign the amended minutes for December 19th, 2023.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, John.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. And look for a motion to approve the minutes for June 11th.
So moved, but at the very bottom of it, it had me for 20 years of service at line 15.
It was changed.
It was changed.
It was corrected.
All right.
Yeah, don't try to slide one out on us.
Okay, I'll second that.
Well, the diapers would come with it. I wouldn't.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. We'll move on to meetings attended. Brad, did you attend any meetings?
I didn't have any meetings, but I did, we had some tree issues over there. I did get them all cleaned up and, I think we're okay. I think there's another one that's developed after that, but that's the only thing I had last week.
Tree issue?
Yeah, we had some tree branches that came down.
Oh, at the courthouse?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Chris?
Had SIAD and SIAC meetings last Friday. Which SIAC trains our jailers. Deputies. Does does all kinds of training. And then plus. Transports juveniles. And then SIAD does juvenile detention down in Montrose. There a couple months ago, we got outvoted on the IT problems. They had ISAC come and review their IT, and the IT person from Van Buren County is gonna take care of the Montrose facility. And the guy, the IT person from Des Moines County is gonna take care of the Fairfield office with their IT, and it was gonna cost each of the 13 counties $1,000 more, but being the systems are back up and working, the court system, they got an excess in their budget, they're gonna pay it the first year.
As long as it works.
Good.
But a year from now, the counties will probably have to ante up, but they've also had good years in our $1,000 got cut down to 500 in the past, so they try not to get too greedy with the membership money. So
Yeah, good.
after that,
Okay, I had a Board of Health meeting. A lot of business as usual. A gal named Becky Connolly came in and reported on the community and family resources. The Vax Care, the free vaccines that we're getting are now being implemented, so that's moving forward. We haven't had enough for them to buy back our old vaccines, but we're getting close. And the mosquito trapping is gonna set to get started here soon. The only other thing that I had was I was asked by citizens to follow up on this DOT license thing. So I did. I contacted our Iowa representative, and he contacted a gal by the name of Susan Fenton in the office of the DOT. She sent me this letter, and I'd be happy to share it if you would like to read it, but I will read it for you. The Iowa DOT uses an appointment preferred model. in each of our 18 driver's license centers across the state. This allows us to realize the many benefits of appointments, such as predictable volume and less customer wait time, while also accommodating any walk-ins or anyone who has an urgent need and is unable to wait for an appointment. So I think what's important here is to read in that is that it's appointment preferred, not appointment required. She goes on to say that says, with that being said, they do not dictate to the county treasurers how to set up their customer operations for driver's license or ID services. So if you have any problems the way the office is being currently run, contact Vicky. We do not run her office. She has told us that on many occasions, and I agree with that. However, this letter does state that it's appointment preferred, not appointment required. And I think in the case of a couple of weeks ago where we had a special needs kid that had an urgent need, that could have been accommodated.
I would like to counter that.
Sure.
We do not discriminate against anyone. And I feel that this situation has been tried to be slighted to make us look bad, that we tried to discriminate against special needs, and that is not
I don't
true.
don't
Yeah,
take it
it
that way.
was, it was, because I've had numerous people contact me
Okay.
after that meeting,
All right.
saying that it was slighted that way. We do accommodate people because I have, in my office, we've been keeping track of it ever since that meeting last week, how many walk-ins we do.
Okay.
And when we have the capability to take a walk-in, we do take walk-ins. And we do accommodate people who have emergencies when we can. But driver's license in the state station, that's all they do, is driver's license. In our office, we do miscellaneous receipts, we do tax collections, we do motor vehicle, we answer to telephones, we do all of those things. We are not strictly driver's license, so that has to be taken into account as well. That is not our only focus in that
Understand
office. So I just want to make
No,
sure
I
that.
get it.
Well, I feel like we're being singled out and we are being made to look bad. And that is something else that I want to say is there was a statement made here in the recent past about a different situation by yourself that you wanted all departments to not speak badly of another office. And I feel that my office has been spoken badly by yourself and others in this situation. And I feel that that should be rectified as well.
Okay, I
That's
disagree
just
with
my
that
opinion.
because the citizens and our constituents are elected people that have come to us and asked these questions, and it's our duty to follow up on those. And I did that. Here's the
But-
letter.
But what you stated
I'm
in
not-
the
I'm not-
meeting last week.
I am not
You stated a
told,
personal opinion of disagreements and things you did not like about my office.
there's no disagreement here. There's the letter. This is
I have
what it
those as well.
says.
I have those as well.
So
I'm just
you
saying,
stood here and said that we were under 28 E agreement,
Yep.
which we are, and that we were required to have an appointment. You are not required to have an appointment.
they prefer us to run it by appointment, and that is the way I will do it, and we do. take walk-ins.
Preferred does not mean required.
And I don't have it written anywhere that appointments are required. I have.
That's what you
No,
said.
ma'am. Then I apologize for stating that incorrectly, but you did state that you had problems with my office. If you have problems with my office, as the board of supervisors, I think you should support my office. If you
I
have a
do.
problem with my office, you should come to me personally and not state it in the public. That's my opinion.
The reason
And
we're
I'm done.
doing it here is because it's in an open forum. And people have the right, the citizens have the right to say something in this forum. And this is the way that it's brought up. And here's the letter.
And I have letters as well,
Okay.
and I will bring you those at another time, and I will address this myself with people if they call me. They don't need to come to you. They
See,
can come
that's
to
the
me.
problem, is that they're coming to us and asking us these questions because they feel like they're not getting answers
They
from
are
your
coming to me.
office.
They aren't coming to me. If I got a phone call, I would address it. People need to come to me. I'm not a scary person. Call me. I will talk to you. I will talk to anyone. If anyone has a problem with my office, call me. There are people that do call me and I will deal with anything. I'm not saying I'll get it the way they want it, but I will do
I
it. But that's
understand that,
responsible
but,
for
but
everyone.
why wasn't this brought up at our last meeting then? What, the team was here?
I contacted them right after that meeting and got emails of audit items as well, and I am getting background information, was going to bring that to you. I was not informed that you were going to bring this up at this meeting. So if I would have been informed, I would have brought my information, but you did not let me know that, so therefore I did not bring it with me.
Okay,
Private speaker, I have a friend who come in for an appointment, and drove over here from Morning Sun to get his driver's license corrected. And he was given an appointment a month out.
We are 4 weeks out right now
I
due
see,
to,
okay.
we only have one computer and we are short staff member now. And so doing all our other jobs and things, we are booked out about 4 weeks. We are.
Okay.
It is 4 weeks and we're trying to get that shortened, but unfortunately with the staff and with one computer, it's hard to do for us.
well, we need to work together, but I'm here to tell you that it's not coming from me. It's coming from people that elected both of us into these positions, and they're asking questions, and I'm trying to get answers. So,
I've taken, if you would forward that email to me, then I will keep all of that together and
Yeah,
I
me
will do what I can do for the citizens. I just wish they would contact me. Because I've heard lots of positive comments about the equipment as well. I wish those people would speak up too.
all right, moving right along to item number 7, public input. Any public input today? Okay, if not, what time is it? 8:40, right on the dot. Vicky, your item number 9 at 8:40. It's like some taxes in Grandview.
It's a delinquent notice went out to the city of Grandview. They brought it to our attention. It should have been a municipality. The assessor's office did put in an audit adjustment for next year's taxes. However, there is $90 for this current year. They got taxed to them and they are a municipality. They shouldn't pay those taxes. So I just need to have your approval to abate those. I can't just abate them on my own. So you have to do that. But the assessor's office did put in to have it changed for next year and going forward.
So is this a parcel that the city took over from a citizen?
Oh,
And
let's see where it shows. what
Cause
we
they got some people's name on it.
It went from Christy Steinman to the city of Grandview. I'm not sure if this is the picture on there from the, yes, I'm not sure where this is exactly.
I have a picture of that. That's
You
okay.
have the picture?
No, I don't have a picture, but that's okay. It looks like
This
it
is
went to,
all,
looks like it went from a family trust to her.
Well, this is what I've got, and this shows the transfer, Christie Steinman, the city of Grandview, and it's, I'm not sure where that is.
So now the city owns it
Yes, the city owns it and
and they
it should
just,
be,
they want the taxes.
it should be tax exempt, and and moving forward, that's the picture of it. I don't know where it's at exactly.
What's the total value?
The value,
90?
yeah, the taxes are $90.
Okay.
So it's not much,
I
but
understand.
they just want it moved to be exempt, and I just can't abate it without you guys' approval, so.
So I can just a garage and a shed, all right.
Okay. I'd look for a motion if somebody wants to.
I'll make it.
Okay, thank you. How about a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to abate the taxes for a parcel in the city of Grandview, parcel number 0422392006. Is there any more discussion? That's an amount of $90. If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right,
These are not any payroll changes.
I didn't see any, not in this folder.
Okay, sounds good.
No, none. All right, 8:45, we're almost there. Brian, you got some stuff for us?
I don't, but I think you got a couple people that wanna talk to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. This is in regards to the Woodland Mobile Home Trailer Park. You have-
Tom,
Tom, you online? See his name up there.
I think he's.
You have some paperwork on
Oh,
that.
there we are. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, there we go. And my partner was trying to get in on the Zoom link. He'll be on in a second here, but in the meantime, I wanted to talk with the county about our offer to take over the park from Cody McCleary and do a major turnaround on the park. Some of which will require county assistance in the form of helping us make sure that we can get the things done we need to do to get this park. I've sent a 12 item list of the things we'd like to do with the park over a period of time. Some will happen immediately, some will happen down the road. Part of it has to do with working with the city to move and extend the city water and sewer to the park. We're having issues with, we think we're having issues with the water. Cody is stating that there's not issues, but right now the park is less than half full, and there's been some DNR issues with the quality of the water in the park. So our solution to that is do what we can now until we can get the city to work with us to bring city water and sewer to the park, at least city water to the park. The waste treatment plan is working, but we'd like to eventually abandon that, because as we grow the park and fill it back up again, there's going to be issues. I don't think there's going to be issues, but I'm hoping there's not issues with maintaining the quality of the waste, the discharge from the waste treatment plant.
Tom, just so you know,
So,
we do have a representative for the city of Wapello here in the audience, so.
okay,
He's listening in too,
Well-
so you know. Some of these things, some of the things that you have on your list. There was some discussion about whether or not the city would annex that property in. So if that happens, then it becomes more of a city responsibility and not a county responsibility. So we're trying to
totally understand that.
where we're at here.
Well, the annexation was an idea that was mentioned as a possibility. We're open to either way. It can be a part or not be a part. Our concern is that we want to provide quality services to the residents of the park. And in order to do that, the easiest way for us to do that, instead of spending a bunch of money fixing up what's there and the utilities, is to connect to something that's close at hand, which is the city's water and sewer system. There were different discussions with different people in the area about what would be the best way to do that. Annexation was one example that was brought up. We're not against it. We would be for it if it would give us the opportunity to enhance the park
Well,
and
Tom,
enhance the area.
I did speak with the Wapello mayor yesterday about this. And at this point, I don't think they're against annexation. His biggest point was more of proof that these things that are on this list are actually going to happen. With just to be blunt about it, we've been told this before, and
Oh, I understand.
nothing ever happens. So it's more of a prove it to me instead of telling me what you're gonna do type situation. And I think that it was expressed to me from the mayor that if they did run city sewer and city water, that they felt it was necessary to go ahead and annex it to help pay for that. So
Right, and that's why we're not against that. I think that would be an idea that would help the city out and us at the same time.
am I speaking out of turn there? Yeah, okay.
With the highway going in, there was a comment made yesterday from an email I received that there might be issues with doing the water and sewer connection before the highway goes through. I think that can be coordinated with the contractor that's doing that highway extension, so that it could be put in without interfering with the
Yeah,
extension
I
of
don't,
water and
I
sewer
don't
and the
disagree
highway.
with that. We don't wait on the DOT though, because who knows when they're ever gonna show up and do a road, so.
Yeah.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they working on it on the south side of town right now?
I wouldn't
Yeah,
call it the south side of
Yeah, they're-
town, but south side of the county, maybe.
It's 4 or 5 miles away.
Yeah,
Right at this point, it might be 5 years before it gets
yeah.
to this area.
but we'd
Well,
like to
this
get
would
this
be-
water line put in before they, buy this land though.
Yeah, but the idea would be to, in my mind, would be to coordinate with the contractor to make sure that what gets done doesn't interfere with what they're gonna be doing.
Correct.
And probably elevations would have to be taken into account. And to make sure that the lines aren't going to be interfered with when they come through with the highway.
Right.
And that would also open up that side of the highway for development with and possible annexation by the city.
Well, we don't,
Or
the county itself doesn't have any water or anything like that, so that discussion, if you want city sewer and water, has to be discussed with the city of Wapello. And I guess I would probably push you more towards them and have this discussion with that entity than more of the county, wouldn't you think?
Right, I read this list and the top 10 things on this list are things that he's gotta do other than we might have to assist with.
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exist, with our one report I see here is the dilapidated trailers. Well, there's a process to that, get them removed. There's about our only shoe in the game.
well, Vicky, correct me if I'm wrong, we've had this discussion many times, there's some trailers out there that are kind of like, well, who owns what? We don't know.
We have no way of checking because I don't have any right, nor do you, because we don't own the property, we can't go on it to see what the VINs are. And the assessor does not go out and check mobile homes in mobile home park. So it's kind of take the word of the person that brings in the title. They say, I have the mobile home that sits on lot 10. Then that's what we think is there, but we really don't know.
I would assume, Tom, you've done your due diligence on that part of it.
Yeah, and we have the same questions. Right now, there's 16 vacant lots. 17 vacant homes, 2 of which were questioned. We don't have. We can't even confirm that they're vacant. We have 10 homes that have to be torn down. Some of them may be tenant owner abandoned homes. We have 3 that the owner of the park has confirmed are abandoned, and he supposedly has taken control of them through the abandonment process. And then there's 3 we have in question. Where do they stand and what's the status on them as far as abandonment? And there's 16 tenant-owned homes, and there's 4 we haven't questioned of who the actual owner is. So, I mean, it's a case where it's a shambles. It really is.
I don't think there's any question that either city or county would like to see it a better area. And I think both entities are here to encourage you and help you along the way to do what they have to do to make it a better area.
Well, our biggest one is with Brian. Our biggest concern is with Brian and the zoning board is the status of the zoning on that property, because according to Brian, there is no special exemption waiver that's been issued on that community, or it's not in existence at this time. And we want to make sure that that's going to be possible. We also want to make sure that we're going to be able to, once we go in and get rid of the mess in there and start taking these homes out, that we're going to be able to bring in new homes. Cody doesn't seem to think he needs a permit to do so. Brian says the exact opposite. And it's actually thrown the deal in question because I know that in the past there's been controversy between the owner of the park and city and county. And we want to make sure that this is going to be corrected.
Well,
And cooperation, we hope for cooperation going down the road. So, because we don't want to buy this park if we can't have that.
I understand that. if it gets annexed into the city, then zoning isn't an issue. As it is right now, obviously it's county property, so that's
Right.
something that has to be discussed.
And
What,
that's our biggest concern. We're not gonna close on the property till we have some kind of indication that if we start doing the items that we've listed in here, that we're gonna get the cooperation to bring in homes. Our
So-
goal is to turn this into a very nice affordable housing option for the community, for the county.
Brian said,
And
go in front of the zoning board, what changes need to
Board of
be,
Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment, what
Then they'll get a
changes?
special use permit,
Okay.
Why is that required, the special use permit?
because it's a mobile home park out in the county.
But it is in.
it's
It's in an R1.
it's an R1, and a mobile home
Those
park
state-
requires 70-3.3 special exemption.
But you had said that it had been grandfathered in because it was a mobile home park before the zoning became possible.
That's
And that the county was gonna work with all mobile homes throughout the county to get their zoning corrected so that they can function correctly, because you have plenty that are in A1 currently.
I do.
So you're in the process of doing that with all of the mobile homes, is that what I'm understanding? So that you all have the same opportunity to have the classification corrected.
Yes,
So you've started that process of putting,
no.
wow,
Well, for one thing, I ain't never been asked.
okay, so.
He's
I'm
never
formally
come
asking-
he's never come into the office to even ask for one.
So when are
And
you
right
available for
now,
that?
if he did ask me for one, and I went in front of the Board of Adjustments, I would say no. And I would vote no, because he doesn't do what he's supposed to do out there. I get calls every week. Monday, I got a call that there's sewer in the water, it smells terrible. Week before, the trailer was overflowing with the trash, that sent me a picture. I get that one quite a bit. We get several calls from people that live in out there about the quality, the road's terrible. I mean, he doesn't do anything to help himself or me to try to help him. And that's the same way if these guys buy it. I'm gonna say no right out of the gate till I start seeing improvements.
And
That's just me.
and I kind of indicated that to them earlier on another phone call, and I said it when we first started this, was more about, you've got to prove it to us that you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do
Mhm.
before we're stick our neck out.
And this is the way it has been for years. Every trailer that is burned down out there, they couldn't replace it. And you gotta have a permit to replace them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Cody doesn't seem to think he needs permits.
He does
And
obtain permits, and when we move them in, we have obtained permits, that's true, but.
okay, you kind of broke up when you answered that. Say that again, please.
We have, yes, you need to pull permits from the state of Iowa. And then we also contact the municipality, see if there's anything that they need from us. So that's
Okay.
absolutely true. The routes and everything, you don't create the routes for where they drive. Am I correct? That's from the state.
It's in the zoning ordinance, if you read the zoning ordinance on it for a mobile home park. They gotta be so far away, I can't remember exactly what it all entails. Outside by.
It's 100,
something.
it's 100 feet from from the adjacent property,
Yeah,
structures on the adjacent property.
So Tom, where are we at right now then? What can we do?
Well-
What can we do? Where are we at?
But our concern is that if we close on this community, we're not gonna be able to get the permits that we need to tear down, we're gonna take down. Our goal right now is to take down 10, possibly 15 homes that are in there now, just get rid of them.
I don't think you'll have an argument with us on that.
But if he can't bring any new ones in, then it destroys the business model. He doesn't get to go forward. Yeah, so I think he's looking for, if we do this, are you going to be able to say that we can bring in new homes? I think that's what he wants in writing.
Well, it's a combination of both, because in order for us to bring in new homes, we have to order them. And manufacturers are 3 to 4 months out. During that process of building the homes and getting ready to bring them in, we want to start clearing out some of the existing homes that are there that need to go. And we'd like to start by ordering anywhere from 3 to 6 homes for starters. And we want to do some advertising to test the market for the opportunity to either sell these homes or to lease them out. Our goal is to sell. We have a finance program that works with residents that want to buy in the community through a bank that we work with that helps us bring the homes in so they can go right for financing. And one of the nice things about this program, if that's the program we choose to use, we're actually going to take recourse on the note that a resident signs. So it's like we're personally guaranteeing that person's going to make the payments to the mortgage company. As park owners, that's not a common thing to do, but because of the way this program's set up, we can do this. So this allows us to bring in affordable housing for people that normally can't afford to have their own home. They have either a bad credit rating, even though they have a good job, they have a bad credit rating. And we can overcome this to help them get into homes. So, I mean, it's a very nice affordable housing option, especially with brand or virtually brand new homes that we bring in. We test the market, see if it works, and then we go from there to continue to expand the influx of new homes into the park. At the same time, getting rid of anything that just isn't going to fit the model that we want.
So what
We
I'm
want to fix the roads. We're going to
So what I'm hearing here is
Right.
basically, if you remove 10 or 15 homes, you want an assurance that will allow you to bring in new stuff.
Yeah, and we're gonna be able to get the zoning to bring, and we're gonna fix the zoning, any zoning issues that may exist with the property at the present time. So that we can go forward and make sure that everything's working and meeting the requirements of the city and county.
So it sounds like we need to get a Board of Adjustment meeting together to float this proposal and ask them, Brian?
Won't do it yet. And how do we know that he's gonna do what he's gonna do? I mean, I know.
Well, or how would-
Supposedly,
A what if meeting that if he'd get rid of trailers, get rid of the trash and fix the driveway. Would the
we
Board of
consider it
Adjustment
going.
consider that?
Yeah, then I'd back it. 100%.
Well, initially, our goal is to bring stone in, stabilize the road, get rid of the potholes that are in there, the low areas, raise them so that they're not standing water in the road all the time. After we get that done and after we start bringing homes in, we would eventually try to work on existing road projects or even the highway when there's towings coming off of a road that we could take and use as a base. Eventually bringing in a paving company to, once the park's close to being full, we would want to pave the road and put blacktop down so that it's a nice, stable road structure and that the homes are in good shape.
What do I have to lose?
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
Tom, this is-
I'll give you an example. We have a park, my partner's meeting with the road contractor right now. We just finished paving a park that we own in North Carolina.
Okay.
The roads were a total disaster. You drive on them, your car would bottom out as you went over the potholes. We just spent $83,000 putting a new road in for the community.
Well, you can use that park.
I have to have a little bit of faith on each side here. a little bit.
And I did didn't build stuff or do stuff on a site.
Well, I gotta figure out, I wanna know a plan here, a direction, and I don't wanna leave this meeting just talking. I wanna know what our next step is. And where
Well, the next step in my mind is to assure us that if we start items, the first 5 or 6 items on this list, that there's not going to be a problem.
it doesn't seem like
And,
you're gonna get an insurance until we actually see something happen. Is
well,
what
I
I'm
got a question. Can I get in here?
Brad, go ahead.
Sure.
Hey, Tom, this is Brad Quigley, County Supervisor, one of the 3. And I would back you 100%. If this is your intentions, you come into this, we're looking for people to come in to make our area better. I would back this 100%. And if you're just showing positive moves forward, that's better than what we have right now. I would back
Okay.
this 100%.
All right, the other side of that coin too is this just happened, I think it was the 6th of this month. FHA and HUD just announced a finance program to back park owners that want to go in and fix up their parks and bring in better quality homes. And that's got federal government backing on this. And because of that and some other things we've been working on personally, as a company, we're hoping that we can get this park closed, and that's still up in the area. We still have to finalize a deal that's acceptable to us with Cody. Once that's done, then we're going to start working with the federal government, start working with the state, Brian, what's the name of that organization you told me for redevelopment?
Southeast Iowa Regional Planning.
Right, the Regional Planning Commission. We wanted to work with them and bring in to do what we can and see what assistance is available to help us. We would like, and this is my personal goal, I would like to see this become a prototype community that we take to other parts of the state and other states for that matter. Because FHA and HUD are starting to realize they've got to do something for affordable housing. So this could be a prototype model that we use to go forward, and we'd like to do it there.
Well, Tom, it
Yep.
sounds like you're getting some head nods and some thumbs up here. If we can just see some movement and some things
Okay.
actually improvements being made, then we'll start moving forward too. But it's like you're the one that's going to have to make the first move.
Okay, well, the first move is actually going to be getting Cody on board with the fact that he's not going to get permits. He doesn't seem to think he has to have them. Brian, I know you've been talking with him, or actually he's been trying to reach you and he hasn't heard back from you. So he'd like you to call him and talk to him about what's going on at his community and what's going to be required going forward. After that, then Cody and us will have our conversation as to how we're going to buy this park and what we're going to do with it with the county and the city after we take possession of it. And that list of 12 items is our wish list of things that we need to do and we would like to do. There's some absolute musts on there, and there's others that if we can get those done, then we can do this. And if part of it's going to be testing the market for affordable housing, new affordable housing. And if that works out, then I envision that park being mostly new homes, and any potential expansion we might be able to do would also be along that same line.
Okay.
So
Tom, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
How many residents could be out there at that place?
It's zoned it's set up for 58 spaces. 2 of the spaces aren't really conducive to mobile homes. But you know, it's somewhere between 58 and 60, and there's a couple of them. Plus, when we moved to City Water and Sewer, there's a piece of property owned that could handle another possibly 10 homes. That's where the wellhead is right now, and for the zoning or for the clearance requirements, there's really no capability to put homes on that until we abandon the well.
Gotcha.
Who would
Well,
manage
this
it?
is a big thing for our community, so I'm backing you.
We manage the properties ourselves. We have a management company internally. To give you an idea, our team is probably one of the most experienced in the industry, even though we're a relatively new company itself. We have a team that has been in the industry for many years. Our CFO and chief investment officer and our fund manager, he comes from the 5th largest owner of mobile home parks in the country. He's been involved in the purchase, operation and sale of over 230 parks. They have for 35,000 spaces in those parks. And he retired from there and has come on with us as our my partner and our chief direction finder. That's the
Great.
best way to describe it. He helps us, he takes his experience to the next level. And we have a very robust program that does analysis on parks, and we find the hidden values. And although this park has issues, there's a lot of hidden value in this park, and we'd like to see if we can work with the city, county, and local communities.
Tom, will you have
Turn this
you
thing
have a
around.
manager on site, living on site?
Yes, there will be a manager on site. We usually have a manager that lives in one of the homes. If not, yeah, there will be one. There will be somebody on site. On this particular one, we're going to need it because of the amount of work to be done. Normally, this size of park has a resident that also operates as the manager of the park. And then we have regional managers that show up at the park on a regular basis at each one of our properties. We work weekly with the managers. We set goals and set projects that have to be done. The managers locally coordinate with the contractors necessary, and in many cases, they're capable of doing some of the work themselves. But first thing we do want to do is definitely get rid of the trash situation out there. I'd like to bring, I saw the trash truck that collects downtown. We want to, as soon as we know we're going to be able to get the park, I want to contact them, get rid of the trash situation they have, and bring in individual cans for each home.
Okay.
So that'll be one of the first things we do. That'll clean up a lot of that. We identified at least half a dozen, possibly as many as a dozen trees that will be taken down. We'll fix the roads and then start taking out old homes and bringing in new ones as they come off the production line.
All right. Tom, let's keep the communication lines open between us. For the sake of time, I got an agenda here. I got to keep moving on, but
Okay.
let's keep talking about it and moving forward. Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's move right along to item number 11. Adam, you're on for 9 o'clock. Sorry, we're a little behind.
That's all right. One recommendation on that would be to have a site plan process that shows phases and utilities and things like that, and that's what we did.
I think we'll get there hopefully eventually.
Well, and then that kind of ties into something that they promised, and
We're dabbling our toes right now. We haven't jumped in yet, but
Okay.
yeah, I agree.
sound good there. So.
Yeah.
Roads here, mowing, blading, things like that on gravels. Getting into some ditching work, a couple spots out on the county line. Ditching roads and throwing the dirt up on dirt roads, and hoping to make everything better there. Raising the grades on some things. Also planning for the Hewitt Bridge project end of July, beginning of August. So we're gonna knock that down and put in three tank cars there. Largely with our own forces doing that. So plan for the rest of summer. Gonna submit plans for the asphalt paving on Grandview and P28 and X14. Working on that. Have met with a couple contractors this past week about doing some pavement patching and things like that around the county. That remember that 2018 asphalt that we did up at the X61. It's got a couple bad spots on there. Some contractor, maybe we can get some supplies and do it ourselves. So just trying to find ways to do more with less. So
How's Highway 92 coming?
Bit busy. They've got a bunch of dirt done. It sounds like they're gonna cut off some of the accesses west of W66. And I know there's been some heartburn from some Washington County residents who can't get up to the highway, and they're probably gonna have to come back into Woods County, but there's some dirt roads and things like that. So there's Still construction issues up there,
Is it on schedule?
you know, that they haven't told me no, but I heard through the grapevine that they're a little bit behind, but I don't know.
Cause rumor has it that it's gonna be back open for this winter, right?
That's what they've always told me.
Okay,
I haven't heard anything different.
alright, alright.
Again,
I'm starting to get some questions, so
Yeah,
I don't know answers.
I mean, I know everybody's always optimistic and hopefully it pans out that way.
Alright,
I don't know for sure. K Road, Highway 61 detour, haven't heard anything different than what I heard last time. And looking at end of July or so, so. Again, that's a DOT closure of a county road. So by whatever law, or code, whatever, that's our responsibility. If it was a DOT closure of a DOT road, then they would have to provide a detour, but it's kind of like they're doing us a favor, which they aren't, but it is what it is there, so. Any questions for me or anything else going on?
no news is good news.
Yeah, we had some, a couple storms this past week and had some trees down and some signs down, a couple irrigators and some hog buildings got.
Hey, there is a sign down that gravel road right south of Oakville. I noticed.
Which one? East out of town?
No, south,
I don't know.
199?
I know,
99.
yeah, that one, I think you got, or it was supposed to.
I noticed this Sunday, so if.
Yeah, I think Tim got after it yesterday or something.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of things, we did update our sign at the office. It was only 25 years old, so it's just white, it says Louisa County Secondary Roads on it.
Any more news on the Purple Heart signs?
They came in yesterday,
Okay.
so I had Tim get them up here this week.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Great.
Other than that, Justin are still out spraying, lots of diesel and musk thistle and whatever else, invasives are. I know Mike's been contacting some people, has got some issues, as the weed commissioner and things like that, so. Other than that, it's gonna be a hot week, so we're gonna try to work inside of machines, so.
Yeah, I understand that. Great, thank you, Adam.
All right, yep, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, Adam.
Item number 12, Jacob, we're just about back on time again.
Good, I'll keep it, I thank you for reading the letter I sent you last week. I was in the doctors, we were having a big. I wasn't coming. Yeah, we hosted interviews and they went really well. We had 9 good candidates. We interviewed 4 of them and accepted 1. We offered him the job and he took it, so he'll start probably July 1st, barring any issues. We now have somebody that can stay in the shop full time. That's what we're looking for. I'm pulled every direction nowadays, but it's what you do. So I'm not complaining or anything. It's just this list is a lot of maintenance because there's some maintenance stuff that needs done.
It's a busy time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had time for it all. to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's good, like,
Is they local, are they local?
Yep.
Good.
Yes, so Chickapin Bluffs, we've been doing a lot of work there. Looks great. Got a bunch of concrete piling, or not pilings, veneer wrap stone on some columns, look really good. They're done. Fireplace is repaired, it's done. We are revamping the bathrooms within the month probably. I'm buying another inline fan. We're gonna vent the toilets so that they don't vent out the whole at you and they vent out the actual vent. We'll repaint, do all the good stuff there. Deck in soon, ordered the railings. I've got the wood, but you know, it's coming. Other than that, just a little, I feel like they're all little projects that just kind of slip through the cracks and it's a good time of the year just to, you know, go get them. So we're doing a lot of those, you know.
It'll help when you get that extra helper.
Yeah. Great. Coming up, I'll probably do a transfer request for our revenue. There's a state law that says that we get our revenue back. So that'll be coming through the grapevine. I think I might get on another schedule. I'm not sure how it works. It's my first time doing it, but, it'll be done by the end of June, so that way July it transfers. But yeah, I'll talk with Selena.
Probably
We'll,
the next meeting or two.
Yeah.
I would assume.
we'll get the correct
Yeah.
way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, we're just finalizing summer projects. Programs are going great. Their two naturalist interns are just running around like crazy. Herd projects are just flying by, so they're doing a good job. Yeah, camping's in full swing. They're all ready to go. No too bad of complaints yet, so. Yeah,
Great,
any questions?
awesome.
Stuff yesterday regarding electricity.
Yes, yes, he did. I'm pretty sure they fixed it. I left, I wasn't really paying that much attention. I think they fixed it though.
Lights are on, so.
It was the back room. It was like a weird
Oh,
back room and
yeah.
my lights and their outlets but I don't use the lights because they're light anyway, and I think they're fixed. I can text.
Yeah.
somebody.
Text us if it's not, how's
Okay,
that?
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we can do that.
That might be the best.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they just, it's a dry breaker. It's an old system, so
Good, awesome,
anything else for you?
good,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep,
Thanks.
have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, I got a few minutes, Adam's not here yet. Dave Matthews is coming for you, I would assume. We can look at the Wapello and Columbus Junction ambulance reports if you want. I handed those to you, I believe. Up with average number of calls. Like Columbus Junction had 40 last month. About a third of them were no transports. I see Mark's here. Hi, Mark. How's everything going?
Attitude wise and all that kind of stuff, getting along much better.
Good. How's the finances?
Holding their own.
Okay. Well, that's better than where we were. So it looks like the front, you did what we asked on the front page. You got a cash basis.
Yeah, that's always.
Yep. So, there's no red marks or parentheses. But there's not a lot in the bank either. Okay. Well, later on in the meeting, we got Adam coming in talking about, the upcoming tax thing, and he sent me a big email. We're gonna discuss a lot of stuff on that, so I assume that's probably why you're here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, unless you've got any questions.
I don't think so. Is the Randy ambulance being used a lot? Or is it mostly coming out of Columbus?
Mostly comes out of Columbus, you know, over there, you've got volunteers over there, but it's mostly evening.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the call comes in, of course, Dan's over there.
Yeah.
That's where he lives, so.
Just trying to keep the finger on the pulse of where the equipment is best utilized, and if it needs to be. Of course, you have a board for that. I'm not trying to overstep my bounds. I just kind of watch and
It was there,
of the volunteers, most of them were older in that age, so it was felt that
Yeah.
having.
Yeah.
equipment,
Ambulance services can be quite a balancing act sometimes, depending on where the accidents are at, so. No doubt about that. Any questions on that, Chris?
No, I see last month Wapello had 37 calls, this month they had 60. But a lot of them were
No
no
transfer.
transfer. So
Two a day. Or better,
yeah,
yeah. Don't think that need is gonna go away anytime soon. Especially with no hospital in the area. Pretty important that we have that service. All right. We have item number 15, this is the discussion of the contracts, but I'd really like to have Adam here and talk about the.
Yeah, it's his purpose.
Talk about that.
He's available.
Yeah, if she wants to scooch up, that would be okay. She's a-
where's our claims? We can flip what we're on.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It went in the pocket. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy, sorry.
No problem. All right, for general assistance, our buttons on top in May, we had 58 phone and 9 foot. The food pantry here for, Wapello is served in May, 25 households, that was 71 individuals. The mobile food pantry, took place May 2nd, it'll take place again next week on the 18th of June. And then we had 5 notice of decisions. We had 2 that we had to deny for different reasons. And we had 3 that were approved for 1 utilities, 1 rent, and 1 burial assistance. And attended several different meetings, my normal ones that I attend monthly, and then today there's a Growing Together Iowa site visit at the Wapello Community Garden. They did harvest their first vegetable yesterday, so they were super excited. Green onions, and they were delivered to the food pantry, and so those that attended the food pantry yesterday were able to get fresh green onions.
Onion singular, right?
No, there was several.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so looking forward to adding those fresh vegetables to the food pantry throughout the next several months.
That's kind of cool.
Great addition. And then continue to meet virtually to plan the general assistance retreat for the state of Iowa as a committee. And so we're looking at some dates, checking out locations and moving forward with that. So otherwise, everything's business as normal.
We have early childhood tonight.
Yep. Yeah. And community action this afternoon. So,
Busy.
any
Great.
questions?
No?
All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Debbie.
Cindy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cindy.
All right, if you want to review claims while we're waiting on Adam, we can do that. I don't think I have anything else in here that. Any newspaper or some of these papers look very important. They have Chris's name on the bottom of it,
That's that one we made the motion at the beginning.
so it has your name there. Yeah. And Brad's already signed that one. So that one can go on down, I think.
Last week's minutes. Yeah. No, normal, we just put them back in
In the folder, okay. Fair enough. What the process was, so.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah, right,
You get it.
be an old hand after a while.
Yeah.
Yes, the guy we were waiting for. Well, now that you're settled. We are at that point in the meeting where we would like to talk to you.
Sounds good.
you're here regarding the EMS monthly stipend for fiscal year 2025.
Yes.
I did get an email from you that outlined it a little bit. I do have some questions, but I'll let you have the floor and
Okay,
take off.
so just generally the differences in the two funding mechanisms, the property tax revenue that comes in will be put into a trust fund. Which I've already talked to the auditor about, she's already set up, that's my understanding, and so no money can be expended out of that until it's received into that trust fund. And the differences on how it can be spent, it's not unrestricted, I guess, like the lost money was, you know, it can be used for any purpose that we have on the ballot. So if it's EMS on the ballot, I can use it for any EMS purpose. So it worked to do a stipend, a monthly stipend. You could potentially still do a monthly stipend out of the tax revenue once that starts coming in, but there are lots of restrictions on how it can be spent. So that would put that then on the ambulance services to make sure that that's complied with and us to check up on that. The other way to do it would be to, and I think the way the code anticipates would be to divvy out money to the ambulance services for those specific purposes when they incur them.
So receipts brought in and then reimbursed, is that what you're referring to?
Well, that would be ideal, yeah, as far as keeping track.
So,
If they're incurring the expenses and have something like a stipend.
right,
If we're just giving the money to them and they're coming in and asking for it for a specific purpose, I think that probably is good enough.
I have a couple of questions on. You had outlined here that. Emergency Medical Service Advisory Council, the actual board that set up the terminology and had the tax put on the ballot. The way I read this, those are the people. That's the board.
Yes, that will be the same group of people that are, continue to be your advisory.
So I don't need to make another board.
No,
This is the same group.
yes.
Okay.
And you're the decision makers of the board of supervisors on how the money gets spent. That board advises on how they, you know, how they believe it would best be used.
Okay. So the other part that I questioned that I had is you gave me a list of items here that are eligible for. Taxes or the money that's being spent. And just so the people that are here that it's a kind of a short list, but I'll go through them. You say they're included but not limited to, and I'm gonna get to that terminology at the end. Defibrillators, non-disposable essential ambulance equipment, communications, pagers, radios, base repeaters, training and the use of emergency medical services equipment, vehicles, including but not limited to ambulances, fire apparatuses, boats, first responder vehicles, snowmobiles, automotive parts, buildings. I don't see payroll in there.
Yeah, and that list comes straight from the code. So payroll's not in there, then it's not in there. Well,
That's where the term comes in at, not limited to. So
Yeah,
I want to be clear, and I want to be very blunt on what it includes and not. I want to go into this with everybody on the same page and not, oh, we assumed that it included everything. Now, with that being said, if you're taking some of these items off their plate, then they should be able to use that other money for their payroll. So you're taking some of that responsibility from them because of this other stuff. With your approval, I'm gonna go ahead and copy that list and probably call this group together again. And we'll start going through these items, and according to what I read here, we need some kind of a list of what we anticipate, is there has to be a report, I guess is what you said.
Right.
On what you anticipate you're gonna use for that year. So they have to come up with a list and I would assume numbers. That correspond with that for a report that then comes to the supervisors. Right. That's
Hey,
done,
Sean,
yeah, that's done yearly, right, Adam?
Yes. that's what
Annually?
it's-
Okay, Brad, go ahead.
on that, group that we had in there, was anybody made of the public of the county? An original board that made this decision about bringing this about?
I don't know, I don't remember.
From Letts
Okay,
and Anthony from,
okay,
those are basically the two at large.
two citizens, two at-large citizens. It's been a while since we've met, so we're gonna have to get back together again and start getting this resolved.
And they also.
Yeah, and I'd like to see
First
the list
responders
also.
Just kind of getting. Needs a part of a seat at the table.
They,
Absolutely.
Because of equipment and things that just got listed here.
Yeah. Well, it gives us a place to start at least, and we can work our way through this, so.
And I got a question to Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam?
Yeah.
This is Brad. Okay, with this tax money, I want to make sure that, can we still give it to Morning Sun since it's privately owned? How's that handled different? And then with Clemens Junction having, not only a city council and a board, their board would have to go and it would be dealing with the city, correct?
I didn't see any distinction, I can do some more checking, but I didn't see any distinction between private ambulance services and public ambulance services, in the code as far as funding them. And yes, the Columbus Junction Ambulance Services, West County Ambulances, my understanding is owned and controlled by the city, so that's what you would deal with there.
Not to jump in here, but when Mike and I went to the EMS tax meeting up in Nevada, Iowa, there were a lot of private ambulance services there too, so.
But were they being funded with taxpayers' money? Because
They were,
Adam's made this clear a couple times that we've, when we give money out of that, it shouldn't have been loaned. And I just wanted to make sure that when we're doing this, there's due diligence to make sure that the money is properly handled.
I understand. Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
so, on the list where it says not limited to, correct?
That's what it says.
Technically, that does include payroll. If it's not limited to not have payroll, then it would,
Wow.
and I have no dog in the fight, really, I don't care if it.
I understand what you're saying, and that's,
I'm just bringing it up because we're all here, you know.
I was looking for
It doesn't say
clarification.
it doesn't, and it's not limited to just the things it says. Then it would include anything associated with EMS. And I haven't looked at that code in about 3 months, but I think there's another section in there that like briefly says like that associated with emergency medical services. Does it, or they've changed that thing so many times, I can't remember what it says. So I don't know if it says that's still in there like later on or earlier on.
I don't have the code section in front of me. I
okay.
just have notes that Adam provided me as
Okay,
a
great.
brief outline, I guess would be the best way to say it. It wasn't all inclusive by any means, but he did do a very, very good job of kind of outlining
Yeah.
the direction that we need to go, but we can go back in that section and read it. That's
Yeah,
fine. He's giving me the numbers.
And it could mean anything, but then it gives a specific list, so. It's a new code section, there's no administrative guidance, there's no attorney general's opinions, there's no case law. So before I said, yeah, go ahead and send out
Yeah,
a
right.
payroll,
Sure.
from my perspective, I would wanna get an opinion from the AG's office.
And you might wanna look at past practice as well, like, throughout the state,
Yeah,
there's people that have been doing
Good
this
for a
for
while.
3 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
a
are
few.
they doing it correctly?
Well, my understanding is or not.
I can't believe that. Well, we'll dig in a little deeper and
Sure.
when we call that board meeting, at least I'll have these code sections and we can dissect them and then I'll refer back to Adam and ask his opinion and we'll go from there. We'll just do the best we can, and if we do something wrong, at least we'll have some documentation, say, well, we thought we were doing it right. Right? Beg for forgiveness.
Yeah,
Kind of
one of
thing.
those things that Chris had just mentioned is that the first responder services are included into the EMS essential. So, you know, they need to have a specific, obviously their operating costs aren't as high as the ambulance services, but they need to have a way to tap into the money
For equipment.
for equipment or whatever they, you know, you could submit whatever you want. Then that board would say, okay, no, this doesn't qualify, or yes, it does, and then it comes to you guys.
Well, this is probably one of the biggest things that this board needs to do, and fairly soon, from what I read, is we gotta get together and say, okay, we need a list of the stuff that, and the costs that we're gonna start applying to this, and you need new defibrillators, do you need a new ambulance, do you need, what do we budget? We're gonna start working up a budget and what we're gonna need to utilize this money for, so. It's gonna take some work. First couple of years is gonna be a lot of work. After that, then you kinda get into the rhythm of it and it's not quite as big a deal, so. Okay. With that, then comes discussion of the contracts for the ambulance services, the 3 ambulance services. I have them. And
Yeah, and I'm not ready to approve that because I don't know if we ought to do that on different bases. We've talked about several different things over the last few years. If it's call volume and to have a base, and then there's incentives because you got more expenses.
Okay, we're not.
But I think it needs,
Brad, we're not going down that direction just yet. What this is amending their service contract from July 1 till October
Right.
1. And
Yep.
basically
I
giving
read
them
it.
their monthly stipend up till October 1st of this year, and then this tax kicks in. Because we didn't want to provide them with a yearly contract because we won't be going a whole year. So what I have in front
Right.
of me is basically 3 service contracts, one for each area, and it's 3 equal monthly amounts. So it looks like we're doing 3 months.
It's the same amount they receive.
The same amount that
For the same amount.
just
Right.
per
Right.
month for 3 months.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Just till the EMS
Right, till the EMS kicks in.
kicks in, yeah.
That's what's on.
And is the EMS gonna do the same type of payments?
It's for the board to kind of bring to us.
Yeah, that's what the report's gonna be about. The.
Yep,
the-
That's what we need to get onto.
It'll be a budget, yeah, that'll be the one that'll be in the big discussion on. How much money are we gonna get and how's it gonna be divided?
Can I ask a question?
Sure,
As being for the city and operating the budget for the ambulance. You guys said the CMS tax is basically, my understanding, kind of more for equipment. Well, this $50,000 we get a year now goes into our operating budget to operate the ambulance. And if we don't have that $50,000 for operating the ambulance, we gotta make that up somehow, we can't, you know. If we cannot use this tax for operation, I'm not sure how the city's gonna make up the $50,000 operating. I'm sure John's probably in the same boat if we don't get this $50,000 operating money.
I don't disagree with that, that's where we gotta dig into this, a little deeper and see what we can do. And we'll pull this up and we'll get real close. That'll be part of this group discussion that we're gonna have to have.
Adam, how legal, it's been mentioned to pay the groups by a billable call a month later. How illegal would that be?
Well, I mean, out of the lost fund, you can pay by call.
But out of this new one,
Yeah,
the EMS,
I don't know. It's not specifically listed. So does but not limited to mean anything, because then, there's specifically non-disposable essential ambulance equipment, which implies that disposable ambulance equipment
Is not included, right?
And then there's another provision earlier that says, in addition, monies in the fund may be used for the purpose of matching federal or state funds for education and training related to emergency medical services. So, does but not limited to just mean there was other things we said you could use it for earlier in the code, or does it mean anything? We don't know. So I guess I would say it does not specifically say you can do that.
Yeah, it sounds like we can't, but that's, to me, that's a fair way of doing it.
Maybe we can reach out to some of those ambulance services that have had this in for multiple years that Mike and I talked about, and just ask them, hey.
Yeah, I mean.
You would think they've been through an audit by now, if they've had 5 or 10 years
Yeah,
worth of.
There appears to be very little oversight of this right now, and there are very few. My understanding is there are very few counties that were doing this before the law changes this year. So I think that's a good idea. I would just be leery of, they did it, so it's okay, versus they did it, maybe it's okay,
Yeah,
maybe
right.
it's not.
Okay. All right, well, let's get this code section and we'll dissect that to pieces and see what we can come up with.
Hey, Adam,
Yeah.
is it possible that they can continue the same amount of allotment since that was working and keeping them all viable services? If we could just do that as the base?
Well, I mean, out of the loss, yes, out of the property tax, it does not specifically say that you can do that. You could give them the money, but then I feel like they would need to keep track of their expenses out of it to make sure that it didn't fall outside of the codes.
You'd almost have to audit them every year to make sure that the county's covered.
A lot of work.
Well, could we change the way we're doing it, providing a different way into that we could actually get the reports back differently?
I guess I don't understand your question.
My question is okay, if we continue to do these stipends because it's keeping our ambulance afloat, when they get the reports back to us, it could count for breaking out sections that would make it work?
Yes, they could provide a month, if it's a monthly update, they could provide a monthly update on their expenditures from the property tax fund.
Right.
But then.
On the property tax side, not the stipends.
Then the responsibility is on that reporting entity that's where they spent the money.
Correct.
Right.
That way they still have the money to keep them afloat like Mike was talking about. But it would also, we'd have different reporting coming back to the group.
Right.
That would fit that criteria.
I think that's a good discussion that we'll continue to have. I think what we want to do right now, though, is move on to item number 15, which is approving the 3-month stipend for the each
I'll make a
ambulance
motion.
service until October.
I'm good with it.
Motion, I'll second that.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carried, so we'll go ahead and get these signed. Am I chairperson or is we wait for Brad?
I would say you are, I mean, you are pro tem.
Okay,
I'd say you'd sign them.
all right, I'll go ahead and take care of it. All right, item 15, 9:45, we're pretty close to being on target. 9:45, I see Dave's here. And Brian about a small subdivision.
I'm gonna head out, guys, but
Yeah.
before I go, I wanted to introduce Henry Downbach. He's an intern with our office.
Okay.
He'll be with us for the summer, and so he's been helping us out with research and
Great.
some courtroom observation experience.
Welcome to the meat grinder. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah,
Yep,
enjoy
thanks,
your
guys.
stay at Owen County.
Thanks.
Okay, so
Brian and Dave.
Brian, Dave, you got the floor, whoever wants to speak first. Yeah,
thank you,
All right.
so seeking approval of a rural subdivision, to be called the Harold and Shirley Small Subdivision located on the southeast edge of Wapello. Part of this subdivision is in the county and part of it's in the city limits of Wapello, so of course, we're seeking your approval for the part that's outside the city limits. I believe all the work's been done, prepared a resolution.
I have the resolution here. Do you have a aerial view
We
perhaps?
have a plat.
Okay,
Flat,
we like pictures. We're simple people. And Brian, it meets all the requirements.
Yep.
Good go.
Through with everybody on
Right on the river road there.
Yes.
Anything?
good, that's the part we gotta stamp and
All
sign.
right. I'd look for a motion if,
I'll make a motion to approve the,
Harold and
subdivision.
Harold and Shirley Small Subdivision.
Sure. Okay,
Second.
Okay, motion is second to accept resolution 202424. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carries. Okay,
Thank you.
you're good at stamping stuff, stamp it. You want me to sign this? Selena,
Pardon?
you want me to sign this? Got
Yes.
Brad's name all over it.
Well, you're the one that.
I know, I just don't want somebody
Yes.
in
You
the
sign it.
future going, well, it's got Brad's name, and I signed it.
Well, I'll see, that's better.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Hope you feel better. Do you want me to just keep this in the file, or do you want the resolution part of it? There's only one copy.
Go with the,
I only see one copy, so.
Can.
okay.
You don't want both of these plats stamped, Dave, or just the top one?
It's the same plat, it's in two parts, so whatever you want.
Well, we probably better do both.
All right. There's the. All right, beyond, claims, we're about there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim, here's the cover page. If you wanna look at it. Okay, Rick?
Thanks. I'll make sure Cindy puts another. There is a bottle. You don't realize you do it.
Send Susan over with receipt, please. Thanks.
Josh mentioned. I'll call it. We mentioned something. Before it happens, because we're doing the company. Yeah. So you're gonna be with us? Yeah. Before. Yeah, okay. I'll do that right now. Okay. I meant to do it earlier. So, okay. I'll check with the city. Okay. Thank you. See you later. Selena, are we gonna have a year-end amendment? Did we do that yet? The last,
Budget amendment.
yeah, the last
We did
meeting.
that, that's at May.
Okay, so that will theoretically be good,
Yes,
theoretically.
yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm just used to doing them right at the very, very end,
Yeah.
knowing they're all getting caught up
Yeah.
in the same thing, but.
Yeah.
All right.
And you'll see on the claims, people are trying to get stuff in for
Yeah,
the end of the
I
fiscal
see
year,
that.
that's why there's.
Yeah, I see it. Are you good? I'd look for a motion to approve the claims.
I'll make that motion.
Brad, you gonna
Since
second?
I'm not there, go ahead and do it, Sean, because I didn't look through them, so.
That's fine, I did. Do I ask for, do I do the second?
You
then?
do the second.
I'll second the claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There we go.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hi.
The 12 of them.
Yeah. Would you like to